Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brightrops, and welcome back to Crusader Kings 2 Storytime. Now, I will admit that because the series has only recently begun, there isn't a whole lot of major plot story developments so far. At least not to a big degree. Because stuff has happened. Stuff has happened that is shaping the world, and we will be exploring them. But not there is. This isn't at this point. Get nothing. There's nothing majorly. Pardon me. There's nothing. Well, that's a bit of a lie. There is a little bit of a game changer, but we'll get to that in time. Firstly, we'll start off local to our area. Because we know what's happening in Vulpera, but at the moment, war has recently been declared between the Zandalari and the Blood Trolls of Nazmir. They're going at each other. It is just a newly declared war. The Blood Trolls are launching an assault on... Let's see, where is it? Ah, yes, they're trying to take this area. This area of the Zandalari Empire. Basically, pretty much the heartland of the Zandalari Empire. I wish them luck with that. They're probably going to fail miserably, though. We shall see. That's really all that we've got locally. Bit of a check, just a check on Zul'jin and Vol'jin. They haven't really... Nothing really major's happened there. Zul'jin's 13, he's coming along nicely, but we'll see where he develops in a few years. But yes, now let us quickly go over to the Eastern Kingdoms. Nothing really major's happened. Well, Stormwind's gone, but that's no real surprise. The Horde basically ran through Stormwind and took it. They're also now at war with Shadowforge to try and lay claim to that. And it hasn't really panned out. At least not yet, anyway. Though... Okay. I will admit that... I will be the first to admit that the Frostwolf clan, Frostwolves, are still technically part of the Horde at this stage. They haven't broken away just yet, despite still being ancestral and not really being a part of the whole Demon Kool-Aid party. So how long that lasts, who can tell? Stranglethorn's basically just a coalition of Murlocs and trolls with some goblins down at the tip. We'll see how that develops with time. Development that has happened is Chief Godel, however you pronounce his name, I'm not entirely sure, has gotten married to this chiefess here, and she is pregnant. So so our two-headed ogre, future leader of the Twilight Hammer cult, might actually just have a child going forward, which would be kind of new, since he didn't have one last time. Let's see. No particularly major developments at this stage in the Eastern Kings, at least the Southern Eastern Kingdoms, apart from the fact that the Shadowhide Gnolls appear to have taken a fairly solid chunk of territory during the chaos. They're developing, so we'll keep an eye on them. Black Coast is still alive and independent, and is in fact currently winning a war against the Black Dragons up here, who tried to invade them. They're currently winning that war, so good for them. Let's see. No real major changes amongst Ironforge. Though Moira is married now to the Dark Iron Chancellor of Redpath. Redpath. So, nothing particularly special about him. I believe he's a count, actually. Or at least a part of... He's not even a count, he's a part of a count's court. So, depending on what happens with Shadowforge, we'll see how that situation develops. Going forward. The Wildhammer Dwarves aren't doing so well. They are getting their ass kicked from... Just to give you an idea, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, we've got 5 wars at the moment, all of them attacking Wildhammer territory. They are in a lot of trouble. One of the enemies being the Kingdom of Ultric up here, who is currently taking this territory here. In the middle of an actual revolt, of their own revolt. So, yeah. Let's see, we've got some Horde, some of the troll tribes up here have joined the Horde. The Alliance has formed, but it hasn't quite... It's pretty much made up of Lordaeron, Gilneas, and Kel'Thuzad at the moment. So we'll see how the alliance develops going forward. Nothing particularly of note with the 3 royal families here, though Freehold has been taken by Keltoris, and Jane is still alive. Jane is 6 years old, hasn't died yet. So good for her. Very good for her. Anyway, we've got... Now that we get to the High Elves, we gain our first real key... bit of fun. We'll go with the Windrunners, because, let's face it, they're really the only High Elves at this point that really matter. We've got Alara, who's married to Sithis Windrunner. We've got Vanessa, who's married to another commander in the same area. But the real interesting one, we've also got the little brother who is growing up and hasn't really done anything interesting just yet. But the real interesting one, as usual, is Sylvanas, who is single, has a 1-year-old bastard daughter. We officially do not know the father, because she is not legitimized. But here's the interesting thing. Sylvanas is currently the lover of the High King of Kel'Thuzad, of the High Elves, who is married. They are lovers, though, and, well, let's just say that there's a very strong chance that Sylvanas had a royal bastard. That's going to be interesting going forward. Now, let's see. As we go over to Kalimdor, there's not a whole lot that's really happened over here. Like, there's been no real major developments. Except for maybe 2. 2 that I would call an actual development. Well, yeah, 2. We'll go with 2. The first is the Bloodhoof tribe. Chieftain Khan died of natural causes at the age of 78. His son Bane his 5-year-old son Bane is technically in charge of the Bloodhoof clan, but at the moment it's under a regent. So, yeah, little baby Bane is currently inherited the big boots of his father. The second interesting thing that has happened is this kingdom here. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but effectively it is made up of a bunch of Night Elf Highborn. Effectively, these are Night Elves that basically use Arcane, who are basically Arcane users. And they're currently making a pretty decent kingdom for themselves down here. Just their leader appears to also be inclined to become the king of Ferelius. So, yeah, we'll see how he goes with that, pushing forward. But yeah, that's really the only major developments over in Kalimdor. Like, the Night Elves are doing their thing. Illidan's currently commander for Malfurion again. Hasn't been granted land yet. But yeah, it's a bit early to tell anything interesting happening over there. But now comes the really interesting parts. Northrend, surprisingly. Because there's a few things happen. There's 3 major developments here that has just been interesting as all hell. The first is kind of a minor thing, but we'll show it. Is King Yaramon, or Yaren, however you pronounce his name, of Vykrul. He had the king of the Vykrul, of the Dragonflayer High Clan. The reason he is interesting at this stage is his relationships. Because his rival is Chieftain Gul'dan the Cruel. I'm not entirely sure how these two met, but they fucking hate each other. It's absolutely fascinating. But that's kind of a minor thing, but a minor but interesting one. Now we're getting into interesting territory with the Belgrade, the nation of Belgrade, who is run by the Frost Vykrul. All of whom, basically, pretty much everyone who's involved with, not particularly everyone per se, but a lot of the people in this kingdom. Well, they've kind of signed on with the whole demon thing. There's a fair bit of demon worshipping happening in this kingdom. But not only that, many of the people involved have not only minor foul corruption, but have drunk demon blood. So, yeah. It seems that the Legion, the Burning Legion, has made a backup plan in case the Horde fails by having a bunch of Vykrul actually drink the Kool-Aid and seeing where things go. Admittingly, this does not necessarily mean they all like each other. It's just... well, we'll see how that develops, because they're currently spreading their shit. They're currently invading, they're trying to invade other kingdoms to vassalize and all that, so it'll be interesting to see how they develop. But the final interesting piece of what's happening with Northrend is this little kingdom here, Esmol, which is basically satyrs. An entire kingdom of satyrs who, surprisingly, despite being demons, worship the arcane. Like, it's actually pretty damn interesting, because I will admit, I don't think that there were many in the way of actual satyrs in this area, but yeah, there is a kingdom of them that don't actually worship the foul powers. They legitimately, they're demons, but they seem to have, they prefer the arcane. It probably helps that their lord is completely insane. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Simply because I'm curious to see how this develops, because I'm not sure if the... I will probably check... Sorry. I will check to see if there actually is a satyr kingdom here that does their own thing, but... yeah. Something to keep an eye on is just this growing kingdom of satyrs. Because they are expanding. And it'll be curious to see how things go with them. But yes, at any rate, that's really all that's really the major plays that has happened in the world so far. The Wildhammer are getting fucked. There's demon worshipping Vaikul up in Iceground. We've got a full-on Kingdom of Satyrs developing in Northrend. And Sylvanas Windrunner is the mother of a royal bastard child. So, yeah, we will see how the world develops next time on Storytime. But until then, my name is Bright Ops, and I look forward to hearing from you.